Hey, Chicago, what do you say? It's the CHGO Cubs Podcast, proudly presented by our Cubs Spring Training coverage, brought to you by Blue Moon. Visit BlueMoonBrewingCompany.com to find the Blue Moon nearest you. Luke Stuckmeyer, Cody Delmendo, and from Glendale, Arizona today, where a lot of the GMs are going to talk, and what looks like his, I don't want to say, BMW rental car, all electric possibly. Look at that Hawaiian shirt. Ryan Herrera all dialed up. Real nice.
This is the first time I've actually worn it. This is brand new, never before worn. You know, had to show Glendale what's up. You know what I'm saying? Had to show them what we're wearing out in Mesa.
Yeah, it's like 75 degrees in Glendale and Mesa. Ryan probably has the air conditioning on, windows down, heated seats on. It's a veteran move. And while he tests out his Hawaiian shirt, so you're out there to get some general managers here talking in a little bit, right, Ryan?
Yeah, we'll have GMs and managers from, I believe, all 30 MLB teams will be talking here soon. So can mingle around. You know, stuff like this is cool. I know last year when they did this, I was able to go over and talk to like Dave Roberts, right, after the Cubs signed Cody Bellinger, and get some insight into, you know, what kind of happened with Belly in Los Angeles and obviously bring that into a Cubs view. So, yeah, these kind of things are cool, even though it took me 45 to 50 minutes to get over here from Mesa. You know, these are cool things that can bring nuggets you don't often get anywhere else.
Yeah, and we're excited because we can brew up some questions for Jed Hoyer, which there could be definitely some brewing on the last couple of days. By the way, one thing, we're missing out on Ryan's nice weather. Ryan's missing out on Charlie the Bacon Guy here all day.
I heard.
Frying up bacon over in the kitchen. Unbelievable. Can you smell it? Can you smell it, Ryan, all the way in Arizona? Because I can. I can smell it when I walk in the building.
I got a whiff. I think I got a whiff of it all the way out here. That's how good it is. That's how good the smell is. That it travels thousands of miles away. I'm jealous.
Raspberry chipotle. Ooh.
You had the raspberry chipotle. I didn't try any of the bacon. What I did was,
you had the cinnamon roll.
Well, first he said to me, "Here's your French toast rub. Yeah. Here's your French toast rub. You can put it on any of our bacons."
Yes.
Then he's like, and I took a jam and I put it in the fridge. I hid it there, and then I went over and he's like, "Hey, I got something else for you." Cinnamon roll with the bacon glaze scooped on top.
Nice.
Bingo. Charlie the Bacon Guy. We'll talk about him in just a bit. We also want to mention we got some new diehards again today. Clark, James, and Kenny joining the group of sickos we're putting together.
We just know Clark's the Cubs fan.
Is it Clark Griswold?
No, it's Clark the Cub, actually.
But I'm just assuming.
So he has no pants on.
You can't,
Yeah.
You can't live in. You can't be a Chicago sports fan and be named Clark and be a Sox fan. That just doesn't make sense.
It could be Clark Griswold with the Griswold hockey jersey for the Blackhawks.
So I'm choosing to believe that Clark's a Cubs fan.
Shout out to everybody that's joined. We're almost up to, I think, 80 now just this month.
Yeah.
New diehards.
We're about, 30 away from last month's record?
Yeah, we have 2 less days to do it, but if we can get another 30 here in the next 9 days.
We should give away free bacon and as part of the deal. But already, what more could we really give? We're giving you the diehard card. We're giving you access to all of Ryan's articles. We're giving you a free shirt. We're giving you discounts to the takeovers. We're giving you discounts to the merch and
vibes. Those
access
are free.
to the Discord.
Yeah.
So let's get to it, Ryan. The first question I'd have for Jed Hoyer, if you see him out there this afternoon, is, so yesterday the Cubs signed to, I guess you're calling them minor league deals with camp invites, David Peralta and Dom Smith. One plays a lot of first base. The other plays a lot of outfield. I'm calling them backup plans. That's what I'm calling them. Is Jed calling them backup plans for Bellinger, or am I taking it too far?
I don't look at them as backup plans, if I'm being honest. Like, they're minor league deals. They're veteran guys. They're bringing into camp. I'm
Luke's
sure.
just trying to trigger everyone. That's okay.
Yeah, right. No, I'm sure there's some kind of if they don't opt out, if they don't make the opening day roster, opt out like on May 1st, something like that. Obviously I don't have a look at the contracts, but I'm sure there's something in there. No, I don't look at them as backup plans. I did see that circulating around Twitter, and I think I don't look at it that way. It's minor league signings. Obviously, they already had them cooking, just guys that are coming to camp. Maybe they break the team. I don't know. I disagree, Luke.
Cody, they're left-handed bats, and they just happen to play the same two positions that Cody Bellinger would play for you. At the very least, it's negotiating power.
Perhaps. However, what everyone is saying on social media is they're comparing it to Eric Hosmer and Trey Mancini. And the thing about those two guys is Trey Mancini was a guaranteed contract.
Mm-hmm. These are just invites.
These are literally minor league deals, like a cut bait anytime they want. Listen, the timing of these signings probably weren't great. That's for sure. I'll agree with that, but I personally don't think these two minor league signings have anything to do with whether Cody Bellinger is going to be a Chicago Cub or not. And honestly, the only people that are saying it and believing it are people that have had an agenda for years on social media. So
sickos,
yes.
I don't have an agenda.
Sickos.
I'm just saying it.
I didn't say you did.
It smells
like you're
like
not tweeting about it every single day.
Sometimes there's fire.
That's fair.
Wait, is that the bacon?
No, the bacon is not on fire. The bacon is perfectly cooked.
Okay.
By the way, I did ask Charlie, the bacon guy. He says oven is the best way to make your bacon.
Totally.
Go ahead, Ryan. Sorry to cut you off.
I was going to say, I will say they could be viewed as depth pieces, right? Because I think if you're looking at it like a Dom Smith, if they don't bring Bellinger, he may be a depth piece at first base, but it's also like they're going to give Michael Busch run there at first base if they don't bring Bellinger back. They're going to have Patrick Wisdom there. They're going to have multiple other guys that are on the roster already. It's not a backup plan, and I don't view it that way.
Brady in the live chat says, guys, Cody Delmendo could get invited to come take ABs in the spring, and that would be the same commitment the Cubs have to these two.
Absolutely.
That's why I say it's at least bargaining power. I'm just telling you, left-handed bats. Dom Smith's the guy we heard about a couple years ago.
Yeah.
He's only 28. He has, I believe, had hamate surgery, that tiny bone in your wrist, so I'm not even sure be interested to find out if he's even going to be ready at the start of camp.
I mean, camp's already started.
Well, I mean, like when games start. Like, is he actually going to be ready to go? Peralta's 36, played for the Dodgers last year, hit 7 home runs, like 256 batting average.
Weighted runs created plus under 100, so he was a below average hitter.
But he is a good outfielder.
Yeah.
He's won a Gold Glove.
He has a track record of being a good baseball player, right? He's definitely not someone the Cubs should be relying on. The thing about Peralta is that, like you said, outfielder, and it's like the Cubs have plenty of outfielders. So,
not ones that hit left-handed.
Ian Happ hits left-handed.
We have one switch hitter.
Oh, who cares?
I'm just saying. Listen,
PCA hits left-handed too. We know he's going to be on this roster at some point.
I'm not telling you
Michael
it's
Busch
wrong.
hits left-handed.
Listen. All I'm saying is that of the two that I guess don't make sense to me, it's Peralta, because you're already loaded with outfielders anyway. Now, Dom Smith, he plays first base, and right now you have Michael Busch. Patrick Wisdom can play there. I don't think Patrick Wisdom's going to be playing there very often. I think Dom Smith, in some ways, could make the major league roster.
I guess you could also look at it as maybe not necessarily a backup plan, but as Ryan said, depth. I mean, the White Sox have like 70 players invited to their camp. Cubs aren't going to be close to that, but if, heaven forbid, Mike Tauchman gets nicked up or something early in spring training, now you have a backup plan for Tauchman's spot for a couple weeks or whatever it might be.
I mean,
I don't want to put too much into it.
That's basically what Peralta would be, is a fourth outfielder, which is what Mike Tauchman is.
Ryan, we're going to talk later in the show I know you got to run fairly soon, but we're going to talk later in the show about star power and players, and I know Cody believes this guy's going to have a big season. Seya Suzuki, What have you seen from him, and what would be the key to him having a good season?
Well, I think for Seya, I mean, seeing from him, it's like, BP looks good, which is, it's BP. A lot of guys look good during BP. So it's not to say a whole lot from that, but, he looks fine. He's healthy this year, which was something that obviously spring training in 2023, going into 2023 was not the case. So that's good. And learning, you're going off 2 months, right? And you're in August and September last year, and 2 months is not the entire season. 2 months is not 162 games, and you're going to have your ups and downs throughout the season. But going through a very good, large chunk of the season as one of the best hitters in baseball, it taught Seya Suzuki a couple of things. I know we'll get to the clip right here in a second, but you just saw the aggressiveness in him a little bit more last year after he took that little 4 or 5 game break. A little more aggressiveness in the swing and the approach at the plate. Swinging at balls earlier in the count, right? Swinging at balls that, a little more borderline probably should be balls that we've seen that he takes and gets called out strike 3 on. A little more aggressive at actually swinging at those. You saw that, and I think that played to why he had so much success after the All-Star break, or after, August and September. And so I think when we're talking about that, the key for Seya is obviously to continue doing the things that he does well, like don't completely change the reasons why the Cubs brought him in, the reason why he was such a great hitter in Japan, but to continue, that aggressive approach, right? Continue to be the hitter that he was in August and September. You're going to go through your slumps. You're going to go through your 0 for 10, 0 for 15 spells. Everyone does. That's baseball. But to continue having that approach and not letting a slump or anything like that phase you, I think that's key for Seya, especially as he's acclimated to the game now. He's had 2 years in baseball. Now is year 3. Can he show the Cubs that he's that guy that they thought they were signing 2 years ago?
Yeah, I mean, I think when people say on paper this team's not as good as last year's team, and then others argue, well, it could be and it might be, one of those ways that they could be better than last year is if they don't have Bellinger. One way they could be better than last year is Seya taking that step and playing like that guy for an entire season. So we'll see if the aggressive approach pays off, and then once pitchers find out, that's exactly what he's doing, how do they counteract that? You also had a chance to talk to Dustin Kelly about Pete Crow-Armstrong. And do we want to run that? You want to run that clip first? Do you have that, Law?
Let's do it.
I do have it. Yeah, you want to run it first?
Yeah, because, we all know he played the last handful of games and didn't get a single base hit, and some people jumped off the ship like it was the Titanic. Here's what Dustin Kelly had to say to Ryan and Marquis today.
Yeah, I think it's eye-opening for him, right, to see what it's like up there. But I think we all know that Pete can hit, right? And that small sample size of what it was isn't what Pete's going to be. We knew that was going to be somewhat of a transition for him. And some of the work that he's put in the offseason, he's really slowed down his moves and kind of calmed everything down. He's in a really good spot, and I think that taste of it just kind of showed him hey, there's a couple things that we can work on. He's so athletic. We don't want to take that away. But knowing that there has to be a little bit more structure with some of the setup and some of the swing decisions, because the guys up here will expose what you're not good at.
The first thing that jumps out to me about that clip is if you're watching it on the live YouTube feed, the first is great picture, as Law pointed out. Excellent camera work by Ryan.
Amazing.
Center cut again.
Credit to
center
him.
cut. He's right there in the middle.
He's really good.
I think we need to get Ryan a fake mic flag. Some of the radio stations used to do this. They used to stick a mic flag out there with our logo on it, just so when people see it on some other network, our numbers up.
Now, I
our
will
logo's
say,
up
though,
there.
if you're asking him to hold a mic flag and his beautiful center cut camera, you might not get the beautiful center cut.
We strap it to some sort of a head apparatus so that
okay.
it just extends off of his forehead.
Yeah.
There you go.
I was gonna say
like
I
that.
only have so many hands. I already have
like a
handfuls of
miner's
those.
light. You just sit there with this
Yeah,
microphone that just falls down right into the shot.
And then whenever
Or you just
people
give
get
me-
Ryan,
give me,
he'll
like, a
just look like
GoPro.
the weirdest dude.
yeah,
Yeah, just give me the GoPro to put on my head. So
That's
when
it.
I'm recording, that's
well, we
all
could
I
do
need.
that way too.
Yeah.
There you
GoPro
go.
camera.
Or, Taylor McGregor's very nice. Maybe she can
She'd
hold the
it.
mic.
Could you hold
flag
my
for
fake
him.
microphone, please, Taylor?
Yeah.
Anyways, Ryan. So PCA, that's another guy that we're not sure. Maybe Peralta is added depth in case he's not ready. That's another possibility is Peralta a guy that gives you more depth in case Pete Crow-Armstrong's not ready, and another guy in camp that Pete Crow-Armstrong can lean on, learn from. I think I'm with you guys. I believe you think the same thing. You can't make a whole lot out of 14 or 15 at-bats. Like,
No.
Anybody that's jumped off the Pete Crow-Armstrong train because of 14 or 15 at-bats seems a little silly to me. How do you feel about it?
Yeah, well, I feel the same way. Yeah, it's like you can't really just. There's no way to have like a concrete definition of who Pete Crow-Armstrong is at the major league level with not only just 19 plate appearances or whatever it was, but inconsistent plate appearances. Right, he wasn't playing every day. He was getting some of those at bats at the end of a game or whatever it was. Like he wasn't. It was inconsistent, and it was a very small sample size. So for one, yeah, you can't base your idea of Pete Crow-Armstrong as a major leaguer off that. But I think when you listen to what Dustin Kelly says, we've talked to Pete a couple times now, and they all say the same thing, that like Pete was very, open about what happened at the end of the season. He very knowledgeable, and like obviously the coaching staff helped kind of just uncover what was going wrong with him. And Jed Hoyer said this a couple times, that going through that, even though it was a small sample, even though it was disappointing, it had to be very disappointing for him to not get his first major league hit in his debut when he debuted. Jed Hoyer said that it's probably going to be the best thing that ever happened to him in his career, just to get that experience, to go through. In a perfect scenario, guys come up and they never fail, right? The perfect scenario, perfect world. They come up, they're amazing, they never fail, and you never have to worry about it. That's not baseball, and clearly we saw that isn't what Pete Crow-Armstrong's story, the beginning of his story, was. But to go through it and go through the failures and to understand very quickly what he needs to do to have success at the big league level, that's going to be huge for him. And so, also talking to Dustin Kelly and today, we've heard that Pete kind of came right after Christmas to Mesa and has been working with Dustin Kelly the entire time for months now. They've been working together, whether it's in the cage or whatever it is. They've been working together. And so Dustin has talked about, when you're looking at Pete's swing from last year, he talked about it was kind of maybe more floating through is the way he kind of described it, floating through the swing. And what they worked on was being a little bit more rigid, right? Like still keeping athleticism in that and getting back to the athletic swing that Pete Crow-Armstrong has, but being a little bit more rigid and a little bit, maybe quicker is the right way. Just more, not as loose or not as floating through it, and to keep that rigidness, to keep the quick twitch and whatever it is that makes Pete Crow-Armstrong what he is good at as a hitter in the minor leagues, right? To keep that at the major league level. So again, we know he can hit. He has to prove it at the major league level, but they've been going through different. They've been working on different things to try to get that swing back right, so that when he is ready to come back up, right, whether it is on opening day or whether it's later on in the season, when he is ready to come back up, he knows what went wrong last time. He's worked on the things to fix it, and he can start having success when he's ready.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it's kind of a question of what we'll see in spring training, right? Like, I think it's one of the more intriguing things about the spring. Like I've said, Morel, like where they're playing him defensively is something I'll be keeping an eye on. As far as like prospect guys, like he's the biggest one, right? Like if he could be like Hayden Wisniewski last year and basically force himself onto the opening day roster, or, the Cubs will just start him in AAA like I feel like they will. So, I don't know. Like I'd love to see him kind of have that Hayden Wisniewski of last year type spring, just because it would be exciting. Yeah. And you can, maybe he, is more ready than we all think if he gets consistent at bats. But at the same time, like when I think about prospects and stuff, I think about, not necessarily rushing them, but you want to put them in a situation where they're not forced to be a guy right away, right? And as someone who still believes Bellinger is going to be on this team, you can start in center field opening day, and whenever PCA is ready, when you feel like he's had the right number of bats at AAA, then you when you call him up, he's coming up as a bonus. He's theoretically, right, as a bonus. So I guess for me in the spring, like he's like the one guy that like is technically a prospect that I'm paying attention to, because he's the one I think that can make the most impact in 2024 for the team
with beautiful blue hair. Ryan, we know you got to go. The GMs are about to talk. So what we will say is, whatever kind of bum car we got you in for a rental car, we know that you'll appreciate your Dodge Challenger from Ray CDJR when you get home. That much more. You get home and you're like, wow, I miss my car from Ray CDJR. Ryan, aloha means goodbye, but we'll see you tomorrow at 3:30.
Thanks, guys. Catch you later.
Thanks, Ryan. Man.
See you Thursday.
Ooh, yeah. Way to rub that in. Hey, guys, are you in the market for a new vehicle? If you are, then we have some great news for you. Our partner, Ray Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram in Fox Lake, is celebrating the President's Day sales event all month long. And you know what that means. You're going to be able to shop the presidential savings on their wide selection of inventory. For a limited time, get 20% off MSRP on all remaining new 2023 Jeep Gladiator models with dealer discount. They're number one for new vehicle quality among mid-sized trucks, says J.D. Power. And that's not all. Shop their last call on select Dodge Challenger and Charger models. Dodge is the most powerful muscle car brand, so you don't want to miss out on their last call with over 20 Dodge muscle cars to choose from. At Ray's CDJR, you're always able to shop one of Chicagoland's largest inventories, drive home with more money in your pocket than you'd ever expect thanks to the Ray Price Promise. And don't miss out on great deals all month long and save big, because of the Ray CDJR makes buying a new vehicle more affordable than ever. And that's not all. Just for listening, you can get a free oil change when you mention CHGO at the service center, or mention CHGO when you book online at RayCDJR/service. But you have to schedule before February 29th. So if you're in the market for a new vehicle, then you got to check out the team at Ray Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram, because they're the only team that we recommend. Visit them today on Route 12 in Fox Lake. For more information, visit Ray CDJR in Fox Lake or RayCDJR.com, serving the community since 1963. I tell you what, Ryan's blue Hawaiian shirt instantly had me vibing on the Blue Moon, right? Did it not look like a beautiful can of Blue Moon?
It's gorgeous.
It is
I would describe that shirt as the Blue Moon almost.
Here's the other problem with Blue Moon being the sponsor of this fine program of ours.
There is no problem.
Well, this office doesn't exactly have a lot of fruits and or vegetables in the refrigerator, and there's nothing better than a slice of orange and a Blue Moon.
I agree.
Ooh, yeah.
Do you think we're going to have to start
with that.
purchasing oranges now?
Yeah, we should.
It's like season 4 of True
I know a guy at Florida Citrus. Maybe we'll get a hookup
there we go.
I said the same thing yesterday when we announced this partnership, that a Blue Moon and wings at B-Dubs go together like peanut butter and jelly.
What about the Bird's Nest?
Oh, Bird's Nest?
I haven't tried them yet. They're in Arlington Heights now. They opened a second location.
Oh,
right across from the train station.
The
location.
Just a walk from the house. Huh? Little skip.
The location in Lincoln Park / Lakeview, man, it's one of the best wing places in this city.
Yeah.
The Blue Moon beer chug.
Blue Moon
beer
there
bat
too.
chug. Woo, is that going to be something?
But there was something about
I just can't wait to see him
wings and a
chugging
Blue Moon.
those beer bats full of Blue Moon, and then just ended up with a bunch of orange all over her stomach.
And then the orange slice gets caught right here.
Then we're going to be calling an ambulance.
I got to run over, do the Heimlich maneuver.
That's why you guys want to be here. See if I survive beer bats.
Put oranges on the shopping list.
Yeah.
We already got the bacon and the Blue Moon.
I know.
Beautiful. Excited to have them as a partner this year.
Same. Love Blue Moon. Again, like I tweeted last night, I have 8 cases of it at home now.
Now,
8 cases?
8 cases of Blue Moon.
I have plenty of
First of
questions
all, I didn't
about
even
that.
get a case. How did he slide into 8 cases of Blue Moon?
I am curious about this as well. I saw that tweet, and I was like...
By the way, only a single guy's got room for 8 cases of beer in his fridge.
Did Delmendo...
Well, it's not in my fridge. It's like right next to my fridge. But I did put 1 case in the fridge.
You're keeping 8 cases cold.
How exactly did you finagle that deal?
Just came in, and they were by the door that said free, and I took them.
Wow.
Yeah.
He took them.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
On the scooter?
No, not on the scooter.
He had a little pull cart behind him on a rope, and he was just, as he was going down Dearborn, it was sliding behind him back and forth like a sled, right?
This is where I say don't let the facts get in the way of a good story.
Perfect.
But
what's the temperature in here today? I mean, the bacon It's
85
kicked
according to Sarah.
up the temp in the building for sure. It's 80 in Mesa. Ryan, you scumbag. And 55 here.
It's beautiful.
This is
out.
almost
I didn't even
warm
wear a
enough
coat
that
today.
a naked guy in the sun. 55 and sunny. I'm surprised he's not trying to get a little pre-tan.
A couple weeks back. It was amazing.
I'm surprised he's not trying to get a base out there today. A little base layer.
Got to get the base layer.
Yeah, before you go anywhere.
There was someone in the chat. I think his name was Ryan. It was during not Ryan Cox. However, I agree with you. Coke and McDonald's is like Blue Moon and B-dubs. Keep going, Law. Keep going. It was during the ad read. There it is. Aaron, my bad. Sorry. CHGO meetup in Arizona. I just wanted to say that I got my tickets for the Friday game.
Let's go.
The first spring training game today. I'm sitting on the lawn out.
The hill.
The hill, whatever you want to call it, out in right field, at Sloan Park on Friday. I don't think we're not like organizing an actual event, but if you're going to the first spring training game, Aaron, and if you're out there in Arizona, like
shoot a text to at CHGO Cubs.
Yeah, or
hey, I'm going to be there. You guys want to meet up?
I know my guy Bleacher Jeff is going to the game on Friday, I believe. My guy Danny Rocket's going to be out there.
Now wait, you're there Friday, technically Thursday. You're traveling.
Yes.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, 4 days, right?
And I'm going to the game on Tuesday too.
You're going to 5
and then flying home after
5 games.
Oh, yeah.
Do you have 5 CHGO shirts dialed up, ready to go?
Yeah, and 5 Cubs shirts and a couple tank tops. Yeah,
I feel like if you're on that hill, you might just want to cut the sleeves off the CHGO shirts. Make your own tanks.
Honestly, I'll probably be wearing tank tops. Yeah.
And of course,
you got to represent though. You have to wear the CHGO gear because if Marquee puts you on TV. Yeah. We need you out there like a billboard.
I'm going to be wearing a CHGO hat. I promise you.
But if it's backwards.
Aaron has chimed back in. Says, I'll come find you.
Okay.
All right, Aaron. Little meetup.
I'll see you there.
And, of course, at Cody_CHGO. We'll get you maybe if you jump in the DMs if you need to.
Yeah, if anyone is going out to spring training this weekend or early next week, let me know. Would love to chime in with some of the diehards or just regular people, whatever. Jennifer says take your sunscreen. I've learned that the hard way. Yes, will be doing. Yeah. I plan to come back with some sun. I plan to come back with some sun on me.
Tanned up.
My main question
is, you should be out there getting a base layer with naked guy.
Yeah, my main question is, since you're planning to go to Tuesday's game and then go straight to the airport, will you hit up the In-N-Out in Tempe on the way? It is right there along the way. I've done it myself.
Well, Ryan will be driving me around. I'll be riding shotgun. I will be convincing Ryan that we need to hit up In-N-Out before we come home.
Yeah, if not Little Miss Barbecue over in Tempe, it's also on the way between, I don't know if you're in Mesa that day or not, but between Mesa and the airport, Little Miss Barbecue. Oh, it's phenomenal.
Yeah, I don't remember a ton of places. I mean, I used to eat like Don and Charlie's back in the day. I don't believe they have even reopened. There was a talk that Don and Charlie's was going to reopen.
Oh, right, Don and Charlie's. My uncle went there every spring.
Yeah, I believe it closed. That was the place. Don and Charlie's is Don Carson from Carson's Ribs.
Yeah. Okay.
And then it was the spinoff, and it was, all Cubs memorabilia inside. It was basically the same exact menu as Carson's, and all the players went there. All of them. And by the way, the banana cream pie.
Ooh.
Boom.
Something about you and desserts.
I almost executed Chuck Garfien for taking a piece of mine.
I mean, there's nothing better than dessert.
That's a true story.
Our fabulous salesman, Jim Cook, is in the chat being a troll. Don't acknowledge him, people.
Yeah, should I block him? I mean, he is pretty annoying.
I say don't acknowledge him because he's a Sox fan. He's just trolling in the chat.
And that's you acknowledging him.
Yeah, that's me. But I'm telling people to not acknowledge him.
You know what? I do need to get
I have already given him acknowledgement in front of a mic.
I need to get some Blue Moon swag for our shows. I actually still have Coors. I still have Coors stuff from Beer Money.
Oh,
I have old Coors Light shirts.
Are we
going to start wearing them? But we're Blue Moon.
We're Blue Moon. I need a Blue Moon swag.
Can we resurrect Beer Money? Blue Moon money?
Blue Moon Bucks.
Blue Moon Bucks. Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
Yeah, let's not get that
Blue
sued.
Moon Bucks. Let's get it going. Kelly Crowell's birthday I saw on social media was the other day. All right, so topic number 2. We talked a little bit about, is this a Bellinger backup plan? Yesterday we heard Tom Ricketts say that he believes this team right now, as it's constructed, should be the favorite in the division. Number one, division shouldn't be your only goal. That's the first thing I would say. But I don't know that I agree with that. Right now, if you're asking me to pick my division winner, the way the teams are constructed,
I'd say the Reds.
I think I might pick the Reds.
Yeah. I like the Reds more than I do the Cardinals. Milwaukee.
Now, I can't.
I'm not sure.
Let's say Pacoda projections is correct, and it's the Cardinals. I think the Reds are going to be good enough. That's a dangerous. Sure, you're good enough to maybe win the division. You're also good enough to maybe be third in the division, which would be a bad look in a bad division.
Yeah.
So MLB Network's been doing their rankings of top 100 players currently in the game today, right? The Cubs have nobody in the top 50. They have nobody in the top 50. Bellinger, if he were to sign with the Cubs, is number 51. Justin Steele, 64. Dansby Swanson, 67. Seya Suzuki, 84. I think we all agree, and I'm going to suggest that even the chat might be on board with this, they don't have enough star power. For getting to be the next great Cubs team, there's not enough star power. With or without Bellinger, there's not enough star power. So who will be their next top 50 player in baseball? Who's the next guy that'll crack the top 50? Is it just bringing Bellinger back and he has that season? Is it Steele having a great year? I saw Steele something like plus 1,800 to be the NL Cy Young. Don't quote me on those numbers.
Listen,
go to Circle for that.
To clap back a little bit at anyone who might be alarmed by this, first off, it's all of baseball, so it's including the American League.
Yeah.
All right. I would love to see the list of just National League, personally, since you're going to play mostly National League teams.
Oh, we can figure that out.
Right. That said, if there's of the guys who aren't in the top 50 right now, I would say Steele or Seya could be in the top 50 by next year.
Could.
Yeah.
There's Chef Kevin's saying they don't have any star power. Zero. Gary thinks it's Horton or Shaw. So the next question to follow up is, so I'm asking who's going to be the next top 50. My real question, the one I really want to know is, who's going to be the next top 20 player in baseball on the Cubs? That guy was Chris Bryant.
Yeah.
Right? Peak early Chris Bryant was clearly a top 20 player in baseball.
Rizzo probably was up there too. Remember, people forget that Bryant and Rizzo were top 3 in MVP voting in 16, I believe.
Jake Arrieta might at one point have been
15 for sure.
I would put him in the top 20 at that point.
Did this top 100 include pitchers?
It did. Steele was number 64.
Oh yeah, Steele was 64.
Steele was 64.
Yeah.
I think Dansby might be a little bit low, to be honest with you, at 67. He was actually ranked a couple of spots, I believe, below Xander Bogaerts. He played better than Xander Bogaerts last year, in my opinion.
Yeah. It is a little disrespectful. Even people on MLB Network have said that Dansby is the best defensive shortstop in baseball. I think if you're the best defensive shortstop in baseball, you deserve to be a top 50 player.
I believe he was one spot ahead of Carlos Correa, if I remember seeing the list correctly. I know he was ahead of Correa, but I really think when you start talking about teams that are going to win the World Series, you've got guys in the top 20. You have at least somebody, a position player in the top 20.
I'm assuming,
and I guarantee you've got multiple guys in the top 30.
I'm assuming, and I haven't seen this entire list. I saw them releasing one by one, top
working their way up.
100 to 90, 90 to 80, whatever last week. I haven't looked at the rest of the list because I personally don't care. But I would guess that Corey Seager is a top 50 player in baseball who's on the Rangers who won the World Series.
Yeah, I didn't look it up, but I would assume so.
And I would assume that Marcus Semion's probably in there too.
Yeah, Bryce Harper's one of those guys. Freddie Freeman's one of those guys. The Braves have some of those guys, right?
Well, I mentioned the Rangers guys because they won the World Series.
Right? I don't know where Corbin Carroll is. He's got to be close.
He's got to be close.
Got to be close these days.
He's Rookie of the Year, basically played like an MVP for them all year. Yeah, listen, I think it's fair to say that maybe the Cubs' next top 20 player isn't even on the roster yet. It could, like, I'm with Gary. Like, I could see Shaw being one of those types. Like, for sure. Maybe Cade
if Steele
Horton
wins the Cy Young, did they push him to a top 20 player in baseball?
They should.
They should.
If he
Agree.
actually
If he wins the Cy Young, they should.
Cy Young, yeah. And the way that they vote for Cy Young, like that, if he were to actually win, that would mean that he probably has more strikeouts. He pitched 180 innings at least, and had an ERA under 3. I think that he wasn't a finalist last year because he didn't have the strikeouts.
What if PCA's the next one?
Well, yeah, I could see that too. Everyone,
not this season, but I'm saying, what if he's the next top 50 player? You said to me that who do you think is the guy, if it's a current player on the roster, who has the most potential to be top 20?
I think it's Seya. I think Seya could do it. Yeah,
he has the ability to go from here to there if he can be consistent.
I think Seya's going to have a nice year this year. I think he's taking the next
I'll give you to say
just give me top 35.
Listen, MLB Network put him on that list. Top 10 right fielders, number 6.
They've got him at 84 amongst all Major League Baseball.
That doesn't
players.
necessarily even like add up with like their lists related to right fielders, right?
Niren, who's never happy with the draft picks the Cubs have, says, now I hope we get J.D. Martinez and Votto, Odorizzi, and Lorenzen types.
Trade for Kenley
in June. Meaning Niren's out on Bellinger? Are you out on Bellinger, Niren, or you're just saying J.D. Martinez and Votto?
I think he's
I assume he'd be out on Bellinger if he wants J.D. Martinez.
I think he's saying J.D. Martinez because Morel's getting reps at third base this spring.
What is going on with Joey Votto?
I don't know, man.
I mean, I know he wasn't good last year, but if he really does want to play this year, wouldn't the Reds just bring him back?
Yeah.
Wouldn't the Reds just give him a lifetime contract and be like, whenever, man?
Yeah. I don't know.
I saw that the Yankees are believed to have an offer on the table for Snell.
Really?
Of those four, what do they call them? The Boris 4? Snell, Montgomery, Bellinger, and who's the fourth one I'm missing?
Chapman.
Yeah. Which of those 4 will come off the board first? I think it's the pitchers. I think people that are waiting for the Bellinger move to happen, I would assume it's the pitchers because the pitchers need more time to get ready. So they're going to have a greater sense of urgency 2 weeks into spring training to say, man, I got to start my throwing program. I have to get going. Whereas I think Cody Bellinger could sign 2 weeks before the season, get enough at bats that he's like, yeah, I'm good to go. Yeah. That's what I think. Because it's not like I'm sure he's working out on his own. But I'll be interested to see what Jed says today.
Yeah.
And other GMs.
See some slander for Joey Votto in the chat. I mean,
excuse me.
I understand he was hurt and he wasn't very good last year. He's older though. Like, I don't know. I think he'd be a nice. Honestly, I'm surprised that like a real World Series contender hasn't signed him. He'd be a nice left-handed bat off the bench for a team like that.
Can I get you some bacon?
Nah, I got a cough drop. You know how sick I am of being sick?
Sure, yeah.
You're sick of being sick. I'm sick of being sick and tired.
Yeah,
I mean,
got a cough drop.
I honestly would be I'd be all for the Cubs getting Votto personally, but I mean, whatever. I don't think the Cubs are
what is Votto's story? Is he just chilling right now? What's going on?
Like some people are like, oh yeah, he's just living his best life right now. I mean, he could be. Maybe he doesn't want to play for anyone other than the Reds. I don't know. He loves Cincinnati. I don't know. I really don't know. But as far as these Boris guys, I mean, I don't. Who knows?
I think it's the pitchers.
I saw Gary said Snell per Boris. Okay.
Montgomery will go back to the Rangers first, then.
No, the Rangers openly said they're done spending. I think I don't think they're gonna get him. I think that Snell's gonna go to the Yankees.
Mm-hmm.
I think that Chapman's gonna go to the Giants.
Mm-hmm.
I think Montgomery is either gonna go to the Cubs or to the Red Sox or a team that I'm not thinking of right now, maybe the Mets. And I think Bellinger is going to the Cubs. Now, again, I don't really fully believe in Montgomery going to the Cubs, but he's been linked to the Cubs all offseason. So I think if they don't get Bellinger, I think they'll get Montgomery. But, yeah. Again, I'm just throwing out the information that was been given to us. So don't tell me I don't know anything.
I think Votto would be fun from a media perspective in teaching young guys. I mean, he'd be great.
Yeah, he would be a great veteran presence for a bunch of young dudes. But I'm also surprised that I'm honestly surprised the Dodgers haven't just been like, hey man,
yes,
you know, like do what they did with Albert Pujols before he went back to St. Louis. You know,
yep.
Like I'm surprised that Votto hasn't signed one of those. You know,
DH assignments, some backup.
He's played on so many bad teams that I don't blame him if he wants to go ring chasing.
Me either.
I think he should come to the Cubs, and then CHGO Cubs should have him on the show, sign him, do the
what a vibe
deal.
that would be,
and then tell him about how that he's our favorite Cubs killer of all time.
Should we send him some bacon?
Let's get after it.
Let's start recruiting him with Charlie the Bacon, a little bacon jam.
Maybe 7 of those 8 cases of Blue Moon can go to his
There's
house.
Blue Moon and bacon, and just say there's more where this came from. Yeah. Love your friends at CHGO. Hashtag vibe with us. Cody, tell us about our friends at Empire.
Well, maybe Joey Votto could use some new flooring. So if he doesn't come to the Cubs, we can tell him about the new flooring, right?
Big time. Empire
Today would be those people, right? With them, you get shop at home and convenience, the right product for your needs, quick and professional installation with a low price guarantee, Luke. Empire Today is the best place to get new flooring, so of course they have copycats. But Empire can't be beaten on quality, service, speed, or competitors advertise low-quality products that Empire simply won't carry. Empire won't promise the lowest prices because anyone who does that is putting flooring in your home that they wouldn't put in theirs. They keep shopping for floors simple with a curated product selection. Their philosophy is to help you find what you need, not overwhelm you with thousands of choices and substitutes. What they leave out of their selection is as important as what they put in. Empire's product team exhaustively combs through thousands of product samples each year to find the perfect styles. Their virtual floor designer is a great way to see how new floors will look in any place. It's easy. You just snap a picture and instantly see how new floors will look in your room. Shopping for floors at a big box store can be frustrating. You might talk to someone today who was working in plumbing yesterday.
Big mistake.
It's a big mistake. Flooring is all Empire Today does. They live and breathe flooring. Like I live and breathe Blue Moon, they live and breathe flooring, all right? So you can be confident you're getting honest, upfront advice. They pride themselves on their convenient shop-at-home service. They help customers shop for floors where they use their floors so they can see exactly what their new floors will look like in their home's lighting and decor so they can make an informed decision. Service their warranties. If an issue does arise, they call Empire. They service all warranties themselves. You won't have to track down a manufacturer's phone number. Schedule a free in-home estimate today. All listeners can receive a $350 off discount when they use promo code CHGO. Restrictions apply. See empiretoday.com/CHGO for details.
Epic day here at CHGO. The whole building smells like beautiful bacon.
Oh, brother.
I said the bacon, the smell, the beauty. And it was in that order. I walked in the door. We're on like the 3rd floor. I smelled the bacon as I was approaching the building. It was that beautiful. Just going out the open windows. Like, you remember in the cartoons where the lady would bake a pie and she'd put it in the window and the goat would come from like miles away? That's how I felt going to the bacon. Charlie the Bacon Guy was here in person today. Met him, great guy. Based out of Woodridge, Illinois, and he makes craft bacon and bacon jams in over 35 different flavors. This guy's been a chef at some great restaurants in Chicago, some of my favorite restaurants in Chicago, and he started working on this bacon jam. And all of a sudden, people started asking for it, and they started paying for it. And now all of a sudden, he's got this booming business. Bacon and bacon jams, naturally cured, preservative-free products. No ingredients that Charlie can't pronounce himself involved in the process, unlike the store-bought bacon you sometimes might waste your money on. Erythrorbate? Sodium ascorbate? What even is? I don't know what that is. Vacuum sealed, freezes perfectly. Bacon lasts in the package up to 60 days in the fridge, 1 week. If the seal's broken, 9 months in the freezer. Check out the awesome merch they have too. Beanies, hats, t-shirts, stickers, coffee mugs. What's your favorite flavor? And let me tell you, he gave me a little try of the French toast dry rub. I'm going to try that big time.
Ooh, buddy.
You tried the raspberry chipotle bacon?
Yeah, I did today, actually.
Bingo?
For the first time. Oh, it's my favorite. I had that one, and then I had Nashville. And I can't remember the other one, but they're all good.
Well, I can tell you the bacon glaze on cinnamon rolls. I hadn't thought about it, but yeah.
Yes, that was a great idea. And so, yeah, did he just take the normal, like the standard cinnamon roll frosting and add bacon? Like, what did he do?
I didn't ask him.
Oh my God, I should have though, because I'd like to recreate
I didn't ask him
that.
because it was spectacular. He's got a real talent for
The
it.
jalapeno garlic bacon was phenomenal. I prefer I like the bacon jams that he brings.
Well, I stashed one of those away for myself to go home.
I had an apple, and I thought, maybe some bacon jam on the apple.
Yeah.
It was delicious.
Well, I mean, bacon jam goes perfectly on anything. Scrambled eggs, I can tell you that's true. Toast, with or without jelly. Crackers, burgers, big time crank up your burger. Grilled cheese, charcuterie boards. That's another thing I hadn't thought of. And somebody said the other day, pizza, you want to take your pizza to another level? Throw a little bacon jam on that bad boy. Jim does it for breakfast. The Bacon Vault, he's got all the flavors he's made in the past. If it's not currently available, because he's got 35 different flavors.
Yeah.
If it's not currently available, all you got to do is give Charlie about 2 weeks, and he'll make it for you. So if there's one you certainly want, you'll get it. Starting now, you can save 10% on your order at charliethebaconguy.com when you use the code CHGO at checkout. Don't forget, that's critical. 4 key letters in your life. CHGO. 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 10% off your order, and you can pick it up, which is the most efficient way for you, or he'll deliver it to you, meet you halfway, even ship it. He makes the bacon so you can bring it home. You can follow him on Instagram at Charlie the Bacon Guy, on Twitter at CZ the Bacon Guy, and his website, charliethebaconguy.com. You got a mug, huh?
Yeah, he gave me a mug.
Very nice.
I need a new mug. Is there any left?
I don't know, but
I'm gonna check.
We could
before I get out of here.
If you want to maybe do some sort of negotiating with me.
Higher. Hold it up higher. There it is.
Oh.
There it is.
Someone said in the chat they just got an order from him the other day.
How do you make your bacon, Law?
Definitely in the oven.
You're an oven guy.
Always do it in the oven. And, I know they say...
On a cookie sheet? Is that what you do? You just put it on a cookie sheet?
sheet with...
a little foil?
I do foil. I know it's wasteful to the environment to just add foil for no reason, but it's just so tough to clean
saves
off.
you the washing.
It's very tough to clean off the cookie sheet. So, yeah, I do it in the oven. Now, do you flip them halfway through? I know...
Bacon?
They say when the bacon.
I do. I flip the bacon.
I also flip, and
I forgot to ask Charlie if he flips the bacon.
yeah, I mean he was flipping it on his little flat top. So
Yeah, he just had like a little like George Foreman almost type grill.
Yeah.
Because we don't have an actual stove in here for him to.
yeah, our kitchen is.
But let me tell you,
great.
yeah, that little setup he had
Amazing.
changed the whole building. The
Smells like
spirit of the
bacon in here
building
today.
just was lifted.
It's funny. I think there's some left in there.
Oh yeah, man.
Over there in the kitchen, but people are leaving, so maybe
It's
they're
like we're
stealing
the
it all.
last men standing. So
It's a weird day.
I'm not above having
game,
some
the Bulls.
bacon in my pocket on the way out.
Yeah, pocket bacon's delicious. The Blackhawks guys, they've known Charlie for quite some time, and pocket bacon is something that happens. They'll see him; his seats are near the press box.
Yeah,
and
and
he
he'll
will
throw it up there.
He will take bacon out of his pocket and hand it to them in the press box. It's a pretty good way to live.
Jay'll eat it uncooked.
Well, no, it's cooked.
Oh.
Yeah,
It's so good you could eat it uncooked, though.
Yeah.
I don't recommend
I
that.
won't recommend that. Yeah.
Are we talking about the
poll.
nickel dimes thing? Oh, the poll question is hilarious.
Yeah, nickel and dimes. I want to show that real quick before we go.
I did do a poll question.
Oh,
You did. I was going to
Just
bring
asking if you believe as of today if they're going to re-sign Bellinger, and it is 50-50.
Wow.
It is right on the nose.
Yeah.
No, the star power thing, kind of the headline thing, I saved the end, but like those are the two stars of the team right now. If you're talking about position players, it's Nico and Dansby. That's what it is. Until you add Bellinger as a third one, your star power, and I'm not saying these guys aren't elite baseball players. Dansby, Nico, there aren't too many guys I trade him for. I love those two guys on the Cubs.
Was Nico not a top 100 player?
Not a top 100 player.
Quick shout out to
Isn't that like
nickel and dimes? They're calling themselves.
Isn't that kind of fucked? Considering it's the second highest F4 among second basemen in baseball this year. Like, again, I take these
Gold
lists.
glove.
I take these lists from MLB Network as like a way to get us all pissed off, man.
Quick shout out to the Cubs social team for giving me a new thumbs up of players there. So please give us a
wow.
like.
Yeah, that is good.
Thank you for that, Cubs.
That is
At
nice.
Cubs.
What do you like the nickname though? Nickel and dimes?
No, I do not. It's pretty stupid.
You don't like it?
Well, it was bad timing, that's for damn
Well,
sure.
the second I saw it, I
Exactly.
thought for sure Godfather Michael Collada would say nickel and dimesing our way to a third place in the division.
Yeah, it's not. That's
No offense to those, not those
I mean,
players.
that is 2 days in a row now.
The nickname, I don't know.
The Cubs social has sort of.
Well, they called themselves that. It's not like the Cubs came up
They
with it.
didn't have to put that out in public.
That's
they
right,
can keep
yeah.
that in the locker
They
room.
could have waited a week until after this Ricketts stuff maybe settled down. I'm sure Godfather read it and almost croaked. I mean, shit, I would have too if I was him.
You know our guy Brendan Miller's taking that photo and having it made into a fathead, right? Like, no question. It's going to be all over his house.
Yeah. His entire wall is just going to be that picture.
Just just a collage of Dansby and
yeah.
thumbs up.
Yeah.
There was someone in the chat who said they're in here for the first time today. He just sent a comment. Mikey _YT. This isn't the comment that I'm seeing is not the one that he sent, but he did say earlier in the show that it's his first time in the live chat today. So welcome. Credit to you.
So are nickel and dimes enough to help you win a division?
Um,
Tom Ricketts thinks so.
I mean, just in all honesty, I don't. With the roster as is right now, I don't believe this team will win the division, and that for someone like me, someone like me with the optimism that I have,
Right.
If I don't believe it, then that's telling.
Do you think that's because I've rubbed off on you?
No.
Oh.
The reason being is like 2024 is supposed to be the year that they take a step from last year.
Yes.
And they lost Stroman, and sure, they replaced Stroman with Imanaga, which perhaps could be better. Stroman, I just watched a spring training video of him yesterday of him giving up a freaking spring training home run in live BP or whatever. I don't know. Listen, do I think he's going to be good for the Yankees? He'll probably be just fine. He is a middle-of-the-rotation pitcher on a really good team, right? That's what the Cubs are asking Imanaga to be. He probably is going to have similar numbers to Marcus Stroman. I'm willing to bet that he will at least be the same as Marcus Stroman.
Marcus Stroman was in the Cy Young conversation
for a half season.
Half a season.
For a half a season, Luke.
That's a lot for if you tell me Imanaga is going to be in a Cy Young conversation for half a season.
I'm not telling you that Imanaga is going to be
I'll
in
be
the
real
Cy Young
impressed.
conversation. I'm telling you that he is going to give you similar numbers to what Marcus Stroman will give you for a full season, which I'm looking at more so what he did in 2022.
I just think they're banking a lot on, at the moment, again, they're trying to get Bellinger. At the moment, they're banking a lot on
Young players.
progress of a lot of in-house young players. And if it turns into a third-place team, then maybe the White Sox should get their money for the ballpark. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. That's the most absurd thing I've ever heard.
Today, isn't it? He's
All
down
I'm
there.
saying, though, related to related to the replacements for the guys that are gone, right? You lost Stroman, you replaced him with Imanaga. I think there's more upside with Imanaga. All right, that's just my opinion. You can think otherwise.
Yeah, I like that.
All right, Bellinger, he's the key piece. Is he going to be the sole reason that they're good or not? No. The point of why you need Bellinger is that way. It's just, and these free agent signings are supposed to be like an an addition that helps take a team from, in this case, 80 wins to perhaps 85 wins. And I'm not saying that Cody Bellinger is going to make this team go from 80 to 85 wins. What I'm saying is that theoretically he could his impact throughout a season could take the Cubs from 80 to 85 wins. Yes. The team could win more than 85 games if some of these young guys that are unproven play better than what we expect.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, and that's kind of what the Cubs are banking on, whether they have Cody Bellinger or not. And to me, it's like kind of like 2015, but like, where's your John Lester? Is Dansby Swanson your John Lester? Who's your Jake Arrieta? Is that Justin Steele? Like, Justin Steele has pitched one really good season, right? Mm-hmm. I think he can do it again. You know what I mean? But like, at least on the 2015 Cubs, you had a little bit more of a veteran presence. You had some guys who had gone out there and proved it before. John Lester had won a World Series. Joe Madden, you know, he'd been in the World Series before. He didn't win with the Rays, but he had been there before, right? And let's be real, like the prospects that they had in 2015, they had a higher ceiling than I think the Cubs have now. That's not to say that I don't believe in the guys that they have. I'm excited about PCA, and I'm definitely excited about Cade Horton, and I'm excited about Shaw and Owen Casey and you know some other guys as well. But I think if you're going into the season with the idea of perhaps a 2015 Cubs happening, you needed to add a little bit more proven talent. And
still have a chance.
Cody Bellinger can surely change things with that, right? Maybe they sign another reliever after that. I don't know. I feel like Bellinger is all they're going to try and figure out the rest of this quote unquote off season that's now spring. But it's hard for me to sit here and fully believe. By opening day, will I sit here and be like, yeah, we're winning 87 games. We're getting in 88 games like I predicted last year.
Probably.
Yeah, I'll probably do that because I'm always Delulu. All right.
Yeah, he's a little delusional.
But you know, as we sit here right now, like I can't bring myself up to talk myself into it right now. So I'm not saying that Cody Bellinger is going to be the reason that you win the division or not. I am saying that no matter what, this club is going into 2024 hoping that some young guys come up and act as an extreme that, you know, increases the win total. They're hoping that Nico becomes an all-star level type player, is at least offensively, right? We know the defense is there. He's a Gold Glover. Can his offense take that next step? Can Dansby, you know, hit a few more home runs this year? Can he not be as streaky, right? You're asking Seya to, like, I think Seya can be a top 50 player in baseball. Like, can he be more consistent? Can he stay on the field, right? Like, that's a big thing. That's a big, like, it's a question, right? Can Ian Happ give you another 3.5 to 4 WAR season? I think so. He's done it for 2 straight years now, right? Can Tauchman be your Chris Coughlin? Can Canario in the limited role he'll probably be in, will he make an impact? I don't fucking know at this point. Like, I could keep going up and down the roster, Luke. Like, there's no real certainty here. There really isn't.
That's right.
The only real certainty on this roster is that Dansby and Nico will be your best defensive up-the-middle defense that you have, and Ian Happ will probably give you a 3.5 to 4 WAR season, and Yan Gomes will be great with pitchers, and I feel like the pitching is probably I should probably be more optimistic about the pitching than anything else. That's for sure. I'll say that. I feel like the pitching will be good, but will they score runs? I don't know. There's so many questions. And also, to, I guess, kind of come back on myself, I will say there is more talent on this team than going into last year. And last year's team ended up winning 83 games. So if you wanted to talk yourself into it now, that's the only thing I can say that kind of negates everything that I said, is the fact that your team is definitely better. Your roster is definitely better than it was at the beginning of 2023. I think there's not even an argument against it. It's definitely better. There's more talent on this roster going into 2024 than going into 2023. And that team won 83 games. So Like it's
This man thinks
this sucks.
I feel for him. This man thinks Cubs 24/7, 365. That's
all I do, man.
You're in the shower, you're thinking about the Cubs, aren't you?
Yep.
You're riding the scooter here. Sometimes you're thinking about the Cubs the whole way.
He's
wait,
like,
wait a minute.
now
How
you
do we
see
get
it.
one more win out of this team? Wait a minute. What if so and so develops? It's just like it's running through his head all day long, every single day.
Listen,
He's ready to be hurt again.
yeah, I definitely am ready to be hurt. What's so frustrating, and I've said this so many times now, is that like I'm ready to get to the point of trying to project how this team is going to be. But as me and you have sat here, Luke, we still can't grade the offseason. I don't know, man. I don't know.
Can't give it a grade.
There's no grade for this offseason yet.
Here's a grade. I give Jeremiah Malone an A. First time, too, I'm a diehard who's at home early because my kid is sick.
Woof.
I'm everyday podcaster who hasn't missed an episode for 3 years. Love you guys. Go Cubs, go.
Hell yeah, Jeremiah.
Get out the money bag. Thank you.
Thank you for being a diehard as well.
Thanks for the
Jeremiah,
diehard
I hope your
membership.
kid
Shout
gets
out.
healthy fast. There's nothing worse than having a sick kid. It's the worst.
Well,
What,
there is something worse.
Oh, there
sick
is?
kid and you're sick, too.
Well, yeah. Well, but I mean, that's sort of a given once it just goes through the whole house.
Well, I got the old sneeze
But
in the ear this morning.
especially a baby / toddler that can't actually speak
Tell
to
you
yet.
something, yeah.
Oh my
And
God,
you can't
that
give
is
them anything either.
Oh, worst.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Feel better, Jeremiah's kid.
yeah, feel better.
Kybert says offseason a D+.
Whoa.
If you force me to grade the offseason right now, I'd be right around a D or a D+. If you force me to grade it right now.
I can't disagree with it. We'll see. I'm giving him the full spring. I won't give my grade until we're ready to break camp. Then we'll give a grade. You know, last year I predicted 83 wins, so obviously whatever I say is going to happen. So,
Music Man Harp says, I have the look for radio. Man, me and Danny Parkins have something in common. He said that on the Bear Show last week. That's the only reason I
face
said
made for radio.
Face made
Yeah.
for radio, yeah.
It's an old.
I'm
it's an old
sorry
joke.
that my face offends you, man.
Not 3 years. 2 years. We're going to be 2 years coming up in March. 2 years.
Yeah,
Somebody asked, we've been here 3 years? 2 years. It just feels like we've been here for 3 years.
Yeah, it'd be 2 years in March. Coming up.
Feels like we've been waiting on Bellinger to make a decision for 3 years.
Yeah, man.
All right, we'll talk about it again tomorrow. Ryan will join us live from Arizona. Cody's going out there on Thursday, and then we'll have double down coverage
Now,
from the desert. By the way, it feels like we're just the beginning of the desert here. We're West Loop with a cactus on the table. The desert starts here. That could be our slogan.
The desert starts
yes. Now you
Spring
see
training coverage brought to you by Blue Moon. The desert starts here.
Does Cody have plans? Like, I mean, you're going to every game?
I'm going to every game in spring training.
What are the
Friday through Tuesday?
They're not all at
No,
Sloan Park.
one of
Where are
them's
they?
where the Giants spring training
Okay.
location
Oh.
is. Another one is where.
Hold on,
the-
is it
another
a-
one is where the Royals play.
Oh, surprise.
Oh, no.
They're in surprise.
Oh, you don't
That's a
wanna
bit of
go
a
there.
drive.
That's a terrible
That's
decision
where
on
we
your
had the
part.
interaction with the guy firing a gun on the highway.
Good Lord, surprise is the worst.
All I know is that Ryan's
A
going to be
rifle, I
driving
should
me
say.
around. So
And you're staying where?
I can't pronounce the place.
Gila.
Perfect.
Gila.
Thank you.
Gila.
Gila.
Gila Bend?
Casino and
Oh, really?
hotel and casino, something like that.
Yeah, we'll have it for you coming up in a bit.
Yeah, we're gonna.
It's not
me
all
and-
set up
We're
yet.
definitely gonna. We'll have
Good.
some coverage from there. And there's a sports book there, and there's definitely a casino.
Yeah.
Can't
I
wait.
know, yes, right off the 101.
I've already got the hashtag for when he gets his first sunburn. See me get burned.
There you go. Yeah, Cody, I'll just say this. The experience at Scottsdale Stadium with the Giants versus the experience in Surprise with the
Better
Royals.
in Scottsdale.
Oh, my goodness. It is a complete 180. I mean, you got the blue hair, cotton heads, whatever you want to call
You gonna
them.
go eat at the old tortilla factory, in Old Scottsdale?
Yeah, you could.
It's a good spot. It's a good spot.
There's a good Italian sandwich place there on Scottsdale Road down
It's a
that
good
way.
spot.
Anyways,
Ryan says, I'm going to sleep in Ryan's car.
All right, thanks for checking out the CHGO Cubs podcast and all of our coverage, spring training coverage brought to you by our friends and sponsors at Blue Moon. We appreciate them. We'll be back tomorrow live at 3:30. Until then, thanks for watching and fly the W.
We all silly like the mayor.